Joey Logano won 3 NASCAR championships. He is the best playoff driver this sport has ever seen. But right now, he cannot even make the playoffs. After what happened at Texas on Sunday, he dropped out of the top 16. And the way this season is going, getting back in might be harder than anyone thinks. Logano came into Texas Motor Speedway sitting 15th in the Cup Series standings. He was right on the edge of the playoff cut line, just 14 points above it. Not comfortable, but in it. He needed a clean day. He needed points. He needed to stay out of trouble and build something before the halfway point of the regular season. He got none of that. On pit road, during what should have been a routine stop, Logano ran straight into the back of Cole Custer. Custer's car was completely stopped. Logano did not slow down in time. The impact destroyed the left front of his number 22 Ford. The car was done. He limped through 95 laps and was finished for the day. He crossed the line in 37th place. 1 point. That is all he got from an afternoon that he needed badly. And just like that, he was no longer in the playoffs. He fell behind Austin Cindric and Chase Briscoe and dropped to 17th in the standings. 7 points outside the playoff cut line. 14 points above it when the day started, 7 points below it when it ended. One pit road wreck flipped his entire season. Now you could look at that Texas wreck and call it a freak accident. Wrong place, wrong time, bad break. And to some extent that is true. But here is the problem with that argument. This was not the first time this season Logano ended up in the wrong place. At Talladega, he got caught in the big one. That was the wreck on lap 115 that took out 26 cars at once. That is part of racing at a super speedway. You cannot always avoid it. But at Texas, there is no group crash to blame. No other driver tangled with him. He drove into a car that was sitting still on pit road. That is a different kind of problem. And the numbers outside of the crash races are just as bad. Twice in the 4 races before Texas, he finished 30th or worse on straight-up speed. Not because of a wreck, because the car simply was not fast enough. He finished 33rd at Darlington and 30th at Kansas. Between those 2 results, the only finishes he had above 15th were sandwiched in between disasters. His average finish on the season is 21.0. That is a career low for Joey Logano. Remember, this is the same driver who won the championship just 1 year ago, and the same driver who is now being outrun by his own Team Penske teammate. The situation inside that garage is more complicated than just a bad week, and that is where this story gets even harder to explain. Logano is not the only one struggling at Team Penske, but he is struggling the most of anyone in that building. Ryan Blaney is sitting 4th in points at 371. He has had speed at several tracks this season and is running like a title contender. But Blaney aside, the picture at Penske is not good. Austin Cindric, who came into 2026 without a win to his name in over a year, is now 15th in the standings, 13 points ahead of Logano. The driver who was supposed to be the 3rd option at Penske is now ahead of the 3-time champion in points. In the 7 most recent races, Logano has led a total of 6 laps. 6 laps across 7 races. That is not a slump. That is a car that is not competing at the front. And when you are not leading laps, you are not winning stages. And when you are not winning stages, you are falling further behind everyone who is. He last won a race in May 2025. That was over a year ago at Texas Motor Speedway, the same track that just ended his day in 37th place. He has not won since. He has not come close to winning since. Here is the part that most people are not talking about, and it is the most important part of this whole story. For years, Joey Logano had a system. It was not the prettiest system in the sport. Critics called him a playoff merchant. They said he squeezed championships out of a format that rewarded winning a handful of big races at the right moment rather than being fast all season. And the critics were right. In 2024, Logano finished 15th in regular season points. 15th. He was not even the best driver at his own team for most of the year. But when the playoffs started under the old format, he got hot at the right time, made the championship 4, and took the title. That path is completely gone now. NASCAR changed the entire playoff format for 2026. There are no more win-and-in guarantees. There are no more 3-race elimination rounds. There is no more championship 4. The chase begins after race 26, and the top 16 drivers in points advance to a 10-race championship battle that is built around sustained performance. You cannot limp through the regular season and flip a switch in October anymore. The format that Logano mastered 3 times has been erased. And right now, he is not good enough in the new one to even be inside the top 16. And here is the thing that should worry Logano more than anything else. He has not missed the playoffs since 2017. That is 8 straight seasons of getting in. But with 15 races left before the cut is made, he is 7 points outside the line with a car that has not shown it can consistently run in the top 10. The next race is Watkins Glen, a road course, not exactly where Logano makes his money. To understand how bad things are for Logano, look at who is above him right now. Tyler Reddick leads the whole series with 526 points. He has been the best driver in NASCAR this season, and it is not close. Denny Hamlin is second at 417. Chase Elliott is third at 409 after winning at Texas. Ryan Blaney is fourth. Below the top 4, drivers are stacked tightly. Christopher Bell, who finished 38th at Texas with an engine failure, is still 13th in points. Kyle Larson, who finished 34th and ran more than 80 laps down at the flag at Texas, is still 8th in points. That is how much damage Texas did to Logano compared to everyone else. Bell and Larson had disasters just as bad or worse, and they are still inside the playoff picture. Logano had his disaster and fell out because he had no cushion underneath him. Kyle Busch is 26th in points. He is deep in the hole, 344 points behind the leader. But even Busch has more laps led this season than Logano has produced in his last 7 races. So here is where things stand. 3 championships, career low average finish, outside the playoffs, being outpointed by his own teammates, and a road course coming up next. Logano said before this season that his approach to climbing back in points was going to be methodical, patient, 1 race at a time. But you cannot afford to be methodical when you are 7 points below the cut line, and a disaster just took another one of your best tracks off the calendar. The series goes to Watkins Glen on May 10th for the Go Bowling at the Glen. It is a 100-lap race on the 2.45-mile 11-turn road course. Road course specialists tend to shine at Watkins Glen. It is one of the tracks where raw setup and driver adaptability matter more than raw horsepower. Logano has had decent runs at Watkins Glen over the years, but he is not a driver who stands out on road courses the way someone like Chase Elliott or AJ Allmendinger does. Elliott just proved at Texas that he is running as well as anyone in the series right now. He has 3 wins on the season already. He will be a threat again at the Glen. For Logano, the best outcome at Watkins Glen is a clean top 10 finish. Points, stay within striking distance, stop the bleeding. But to do that, the number 22 has to show pace it has not consistently shown in weeks. And there is another layer to this. Austin Cindric is now 13 points ahead of Logano in the standings. If Cindric has a strong road course race and Logano has another average day, that gap grows. Having your own teammate pull further away from you inside a playoff picture you are already outside of is a different kind of pressure. That is the situation Logano is sitting in right now, heading into Watkins Glen. 14 consecutive seasons with at least 1 Cup Series win. That streak is in real danger of ending in 2026 if the car does not improve. He led 6 laps across 7 races. You do not win from there. You do not even come close. And with every race that passes without a strong finish, the gap between where he is and where the top 16 sits gets harder to close.